A traditional lean bulk doesn't make the most sense for the vast majority of people, and here's why. Now, I'm not going to sit here and argue against the fact that a traditional lean bulk is the most effective, efficient, and optimal way to build the most amount of muscle as a natural lifter. I'm not going to argue against that. That's been established. But what I am saying is that a lean bulk doesn't make a lot of sense for a lot of people, and I'll give you an example as to why that might be the case. This past weekend, I'm coming off a weekend where alcohol was consumed, a lot of good food, and a lot of calories were consumed. I'm back to my normal routine on Monday, and I'm not very hungry as a result of all the calories that I consumed this past weekend. So why would I continue eating in a surplus if I'm not hungry and I still have plenty of energy? And I'm working out right now, and my workout's going great. I'm progressing on everything. So why would I continue eating in a surplus if my primary goal is to maintain a relatively lean physique year round? I'm not talking about shredded, but I'm talking about, somewhere between 13 and 15%. It wouldn't make sense for me to continue eating in a surplus, because then I'm just going to continue getting fatter after I've already put on a little bit of body fat this past weekend. What makes the most sense for me and where I'm at in my life is to eat in a calorie deficit for this week and kind of just let my natural hunger signals guide me closer to maintenance, right? So consumed a lot of energy this past weekend, not hungry today. According to the traditional cut and bulk logic, I should be eating in a surplus today to maximize the amount of time that I'm in a calorie surplus. But for where I'm at in my life, that just doesn't make a ton of sense. I'll just continue, if I just, have these weekends where I overconsume and just continue overconsuming, then eventually I'll just add more and more body fat. So it doesn't make a lot of sense for me. And you can continue making gains in a deficit even as an advanced lifter. I mean, we have research that shows this. You can pull energy from your body fat stores to build new muscle tissue, as long as you're not like absolutely shredded at 8%, and I'm not. So yeah, it just doesn't make sense for me to eat in a surplus, today or even a few days this week. I'm kind of just going to let my natural hunger signals guide me to where I need to be so that I have plenty of energy. I'm continuing to progress in the gym. And I think that approach makes a lot of sense for a lot of people who do have active social lives, who maybe overconsume on the weekends, eat in a slight deficit throughout the week, continue to make gains, continue to make progress. You just need to realize that it's not the most optimal or the most efficient way to go about things. It depends on where you're at. So if you're a student and you don't have a lot of time for a social life and you can really just dial in the calories and just maintain that small calorie surplus every single day, then yeah, it makes sense for you to do a lean bulk. But if you're the average person with a social life who might overconsume every now and then, you don't want to overconsume and then continue overconsuming if your goal is to maintain a relatively lean physique. So you kind of just have to determine where you're at in life and what makes the most sense for you. But I do think for a lot of people, just kind of letting your natural hunger signals guide you and continuing to train hard and progress in the gym is the way to go.